Position in particular, what do you try to get out of the combine
I'm sorry, what was the beginning of that?
for evaluating quarterbacks
Oh,
in
yeah.
particular? What do you try to get out of the combine?
I think the biggest thing in the combine, the two biggest things are, everybody says it's the medical portion, which I'm not a part of that. I just see all the results, and then the interviews. And we're going to interview a lot of quarterbacks as well as a lot of other players here. So that's really the first touch point that we'll have with these guys. I haven't met any of them in person, and really excited to meet them. We're going to meet some tonight, some tomorrow, and that's just the beginning of the process in terms of that. It's a huge part of really any position is getting to know the person. That's where we've always found in scouting, you make the biggest mistakes more so on the person than the actual talent. I think we're all here for a reason in terms of being talent evaluators, everybody in our staff, but understanding what makes that person tick and how they'll fit in your locker room and your particular culture is the biggest thing where you can make mistakes on.
Everybody wants one of those.
As you get to know your new coaching staff, how can you tell or how do you learn which assistants are good scouts, which assistants maybe are different kind of scouts? How do you factor that in?
That's a really interesting question. Sean didn't prepare me for that one, but I can give you a good answer. I think you work with them to a certain extent, just like anybody you work with. You figure out what their strengths, what their weaknesses are. Most coaches do a really good job of letting you know what they want out of the players. And really last week, that's what we had all our scouts in, and we did what we call profile tapes, and they presented players and what they're looking for in particular positions, whether it be defensive line, defensive end, linebacker, all those different things. And they do a good job presenting what they're exactly looking for in our particular scheme that we're doing. So that was new for all of us, including me, because I haven't worked with most of these coaches. So understanding what Joe Witt looks for on defense, what Cliff looks for on offense, and all the different positions. So you start to gain an understanding of how they can communicate with that. But until you really start going into meetings and seeing how they evaluate, you don't really know. But I think everybody's here for a reason, coaches and scouts. So I'm really confident in our ability to do that.
Everybody always wants one of those early draft picks to try to get one of the best possible quarterbacks, but it's still just a roll of the dice. Why is that so difficult, and how do you try to avoid the failures that come with that?
If I knew that answer, I'd be somewhere else probably, retired. I think that the gist of it is it's people evaluating people, and especially when it comes to that position, there's so much more that goes into it besides the tape. If you're evaluating a defensive end, I think we all can see what Nick Bosa or Myles Garrett looks like, and the quarterback, there's so much nuance that goes into it besides the talent, the skill set, and the arm strength and all that. So with really quarterback or any position, it's people evaluating people, so you're gonna make mistakes, and it's a matter of if you have a better hit rate. Really, it's the draft is try to hit on as many as you can, and the more hits you have, whether it's the first round pick or the seventh round pick or anywhere in between, that's how you build your team.
What have you learned about Caleb Williams from Cliff?
Really, Cliff and I haven't talked too much specifically on him. We really just talked about quarterback play in general, and what he looks for in quarterbacks and how we can find that right fit for him if that's what we're going to do. And certainly that hasn't been decided yet by any stretch of the imagination. We still have a lot of work to do. What we're going to do, whether it's that pick or later. We really like what we have in Sam right now, so we're really excited about that too. I had a great, it's funny, I learned this from John Lynch. When you're sitting in your office all day, you kind of just get in this rut where you're just like, it's dark, you got all these weird lights, and you need to get out. So Sam came to the facility a couple weeks ago, and we got a chance to hang out, and instead of sitting in my office, we just took a walk around Commanders Park and around the fields, and got to know him a little bit better. So I feel really good about him too. So we got a lot of different things we can do, but still really excited about him.
Adam, what were you looking for in an assistant GM, and what made Lance McCarthy the right guy for that job?
I'm sorry, what was the first part?
What were you looking for in that role?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's different for every team, but I think, at its core, as an assistant GM, you're looking for somebody who can aggregate all the information, give it all to the decision makers, whether it's the head coach, the GM, whoever it is, And so someone who can organize all the scouting information, all the analytics information, all the different information that you get in order to make the best decision possible, and you filter it up to the decision makers. And so with Lance, his skill set's immense. You know, not just he's an excellent player evaluator. We never worked together, but we've been close friends for a long time. Always talked ball, talked about a lot of things. He's really good at a lot of things. He's kind of like, a lot of times he's been a North Star for me in terms of decision making, whether it's on a player or just on life. So having him in the building, I couldn't be happier, and really excited to work for him. And I don't think people really know how good he is. He's gotten a lot more notoriety, I think, with Detroit's success, and rightfully so. They've done an excellent job, but he's been a big part of that, and we're really happy to have him with us.
If you draft a young quarterback to go with Sam, would you like to have also a veteran in there with those two guys?
I think, you know, as it pertains to quarterbacks or any meeting room, you want to have the best competition and as many good players as you can to have the best team. Talking about San Francisco a couple years ago, we needed, what, 4, Jennifer? Maybe 5 at the end. And so you need a lot. A lot of stuff can happen. So I think you always want to make every single meeting room as strong as it possibly can be, whether it's quarterback or defensive end.
Adam,
much
if
do
the
you weigh
Bears
that?
are gonna shop, if the Bears are gonna, if the Bears,
I'm not good at this. So.
if the Bears are gonna shop the first pick, do you feel like you have to be involved in those conversations because somebody else could come up and target the guy you're hoping for at 2?
Really, with anything that could happen in this league, you always want to be involved in it, right? Whether you actually pull the trigger or not, that's a different story, but you always want to understand what people are looking to do, what they're doing, whether it's trading down to 28, I don't know who 28 is, so don't think I got some master plan, or, you know, trading anywhere, whether it's a player or not. So you always want to be involved in any of those things, whether you actually pull the trigger at the end. That's when you gather all your information and make the best decision for the team.
So to pull the trigger would.
Have you gone to the league until now? How have you changed in the way you evaluate quarterbacks, whether that's the traits you value differently or your process?
I think, yeah, you learn more and more every time you do it, and most of them are mistakes. I feel like it's really hard to evaluate quarterbacks, but you just try to get better and try to understand what you did the last time that was really good, what you did last time that was really bad, different processes. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of bad things that you did, but you always learn. And so it's constantly evolving, and I don't think, you know, anybody has the magic pill to understand that one. If they do, let me know. I'll hire them. But yeah, I think that's it. Just keep learning every year you do it.
How heavily do you use that S2 test?
We subscribe to it, but you know, it's just like all the different assessments. It's just a very, very small piece of the puzzle. You can break it down to, you know, just the general score, or you can get it down all the little granular bits of it and try to pull different things that are predictive for your analytics group. So with all those different things, whether it's S2 or HRT, or I just gave a good shout out to HRT, so hopefully you can get a better deal. But I think you take all those things into account and understand what portions of it are important.
Athletes first, they able to get that on their plans taking the S2 this year, or any of the cognitive testing. And I don't know if that's going to become a trend or anything, but does that mean anything to you from where you said, like, if you didn't have players taking those tests, would that limit your evaluation of them?
I think no. I mean, you like to get as much information as you can on every prospect, but if somebody doesn't want to take that test, I understand, and especially what happened with CJ last year, and that was really cool how he overcame that and had an incredible rookie year. So, but you know, you just have to adjust. If players adjust, and you adjust to that, and you try to get as much information as you can. If it's S2, then it's something else. But you know, that's really, you know, you just kind of have to adjust, I guess, Caleb.
Last year,
Okay,
the,
two more.
Washington came in last in the NFLPA survey that was done by players, and I'm curious what's been done to kind of like rectify some of the issues from the NFLPA survey. Have you guys looked into that and just kind of like some of the player concerns from before your time?
Yeah, we've looked into a lot. We haven't done anything. We just got here, right? So you guys know how construction goes. It doesn't go real fast, you know. So, but we've listened to a lot of the players. We've met with a lot of the players, trying to understand where we can improve in the building, and I think we have a lot of really good people in the building. It's just trying to make the player experience better, as good as we can. and that's not easy, but we're going to make every effort to. So we're still in the early stages of that.
Can you describe some of the growing pains of just having a new staff and being in this process?
I look at it as more as excitement and then growing pains. It's a lot of fun. I've done it a few times now, and with all the new people, you get a chance to learn how people work. It's a great energy in the building right now. It's awesome. It's really fun walking around. Coaches, personnel, we all got together. We did a lot of cool things, team building stuff. So I look at it as more excitement than anything else. So it's been a lot of fun.
Adam, you talked.